Hey, what's up guys, Rampedi here. We're back with another show. Are Mamelodi Sundowns one win away from winning the league? Kaizer Chiefs finally scored in 2023. And Orlando Pirates, 3 wins in a row? Gotta talk about it. Let's go!
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
Let's start with the log leaders, the record breakers. 13 wins in a row. Mamelodi Sundowns. You know, after they got their victory against Sekhukhune United this past weekend, it confirmed that they've beaten every team once in the DStv Premiership this season. I mean, this team doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And one thing I loved about that game, it was like a difference within plays. You found a Mamelodi Sundowns that was patiently building up, trying to find those gaps. And whereas Sekhukhune United, on the other hand, when they had the possession, they were moving the ball a lot quickly. And also Sekhukhune realized that they couldn't compete with Sundowns. So they were physical. They were being rough within the tackles. But Sundowns just got up and just carried on going. And the more Sundowns build up, the more they were able to find those gaps. They were more able to see a team that hasn't conceded so many goals. There were gaps within their fullback areas. And you could see even when the cross came in and Shaulile makes it 9 goals this season. 9, guys. 9. Can you imagine? You would not have imagined that Shaulile was absent for 6 games. He comes back and now he's building that gap now between Caleb and Grobler as well. So he's scoring the goals. And not only even that, there was more that happened within that game. Mamelodi Sundowns eventually gets the red card, right? When Allende fouled Letswalo severely. Crazy thing about this moment, before we carry on with the game, was the referee issued a yellow card. And then went to go speak to these people, saw something, came back and said red card. And that made me question, do we have VAR in South Africa? Because if we do, let's let everybody know if we do have that. But you didn't see the difference. You didn't see the difference at all, even after they got the red card. And I think that's what Brandon Truter should be disappointed in, the fact that you have this lovely opportunity. You're playing against Mamelodi Sundowns that beats every team, not even almost every team, that beats every team, and they get a red card against you guys. There's a chance to come back. And after the red card, you ask yourself, what did Dennis Onyango do? He didn't do much. But that was your opportunity to hurt them in some kind of way. And Sundowns, man, when I talk game management, that's how you do it. You keep the ball, guys. Just rotate it. Just rotate it. But they rotated so well. But they've always had this philosophy for years and years. So big ups to Rulani, man. Big ups to him, and also having to trust other players. And with also that being said is, I think he's been watching the show. I think Rulani's been watching the show. He might not say it out loud, but I think he's been watching the show, because I spoke about the fact that the squad is capable of doing more. The squad is capable of winning because the squad is there, the depth is there. And I think the coach is there. And he showed it by having to give other players a chance too. Look at these numbers at this current moment. In the last 3 games, Mamelodi Sundowns have used 25 players. 25 players. We've seen the Zungus, we've seen Ralani, we've seen Kapinga, we've seen Mailula, we've seen Shaulile, but he's rotating quite a lot. And he's showing faith at the other squad and the other players, the fringe players that you would say. And with Sundowns, you're starting to see better performances because the players are fresh. They're not overused. Orlando Pirates is next, and Orlando Pirates are in form. And I like this fixture because one team will have revenge on their minds. I did say this on a video last week, that if Mamelodi Sundowns win their next 2 league games, I think the league is done. Mathematically, it might not be done, but I think it's done. And the reason why I say that is because I look at all the other teams, and I don't think there's another team in the DStv Premiership that's going to get 16 victories. No. So if they beat Orlando Pirates, because they've done with Sekhukhune United, but if they beat Orlando Pirates, I think it's done. I think from then on, Rulani, you can rotate as much as you like. You can use even the kids if you want. Use the development if you want. Because I just do not see no other team winning that much. But Mamelodi Sundowns won't stop. They'll carry on going and they'll carry on winning the points that they do. And this is key because it's just in time for when CAF is about to begin. 3rd win in a row for Orlando Pirates. I mean, can you believe it? Ever since I challenged that team, man, they've stepped up. And this is what I love to see. I love to see this, Make me eat humble pie, Orlando Pirates. They're keeping their shape together. And one thing I love about seeing them play now is everybody knows their role. Every player on that pitch knows their role. They're starting to work together as a team. Tabang Munare in midfield. Saleng coming down on the wings. Sibisi as well, being the captain that he is at the back. And Chaine getting his first clean sheet. I'm sure he must be happy having to see that. The most important thing is Orlando Pirates are taking advantage of teams that are performing poorly. Last week people spoke about the fact that, but Stellenbosch is a young side. So what? If you can utilize that as their weakness, then go for it. And Marumo Gallants, same thing too. They hardly score goals. They cannot get a rhythm together. And Orlando Pirates did that so well. Got a fast start, got a goal, and that's all they needed to do. I think what they need to do now better is they need to manage games a lot better. Watch a little bit of Mamelodi Sundowns, see how that is done. Keep the ball, because after they scored the 2 goals, they sat back too much. Marumo Gallants got chances, got into their space. And then, if they were clinical enough, Marumo Gallants, they could have scored, no doubt. And that also made me question Dan Malesela not bringing on Judas Musiamedi. Why did you guys sign the striker if you guys are not going to play him? Orlando Pirates has fixed one problem this season, and that was the fact that they did not score enough goals. I spoke about it weeks ago. I said if they need to achieve anything this season, they need to score more. And ever since they announced the striker coach, Scott, he's come in, suddenly, 4 games, 10 goals. And from then on, you just see them climbing up the table. And that is what you love to see. You want to see an Orlando Pirates that is competitive. Sundowns is going to take number 1 position, without a doubt. I see that happening. But the second place, because Richards Bay, I don't think they've got the same players of quality like a SuperSport United and Orlando Pirates. I'd count them out of the occasion for second place. But Orlando Pirates and SuperSport, man, I think there's a wrestling match that's going to happen over there. I think it's down to both of them. Who's going to be more consistent between either of the teams? But another challenge is on the rise for Orlando Pirates. You've picked up form. You've had 3 wins in a row. You've got Shakes Rampedi impressed, right? Now, can you do it against Mamelodi Sundowns? If you're stepping up to all my challenges, I've got one more for you. Masanda one is next. The result is not important for me, because I do think Mamelodi Sundowns is the better side. But the performance, I need to see an Orlando Pirates that I saw in MTN 8 against Mamelodi Sundowns. A side that is not scared of Mamelodi Sundowns. And that's going to be key for them getting the victory. But so far, congratulations. Marumo Gallants, who played Orlando Pirates, they lost, of course. And that led to the club putting Dan Malesela on special leave. So he hasn't left the building yet, from when I'm reading the statement. Dylan Kerr's come in on an advisory role to the assistant coach Raymond Mdaka. It was coming, honestly. I say it was coming because when I watched Marumo Gallants play games, it was going the same way. They keep the ball well. They create chances. They don't score any goals. They concede. That's what happened all the time. Even when I spoke about it just a couple of minutes ago, they brought in Judas Musiamedi. And they didn't play him against Orlando Pirates. I was just so surprised. I was like, but you guys brought a centre forward. Do we just wish him happy birthday on Twitter? Do we play him? What's happening? I'm not really sure. So he didn't come on. And I think the big factor as well, I think Dan Malesela lost the players a little bit. I say this because at the end of the games, majority of them, he was blaming the players. They didn't take their chances. This is not how they play in practice. They're much better in practice. But when it's match day, they're different. It was almost as if he wasn't taking accountability for maybe some of his tactics. And when you see results going a particular way, I'm sort of asking myself, why did he not change anything? Because you're playing open football against every other team, even against the Orlando Pirates. It doesn't make sense. So I was hoping he would be better defensively, but they've put him on special leave. Dylan Kerr has come in, and Dylan Kerr has saved teams. He has. So his record is good on that front, and hopefully he can work his magic for this club. First win in 2023, first goals in 2023, and first win ever over Royal AM. Good performance from Amakosi this weekend. I mean, they were aggressive. They wanted it more than the Kaizer side. They forced them to make mistakes. And I think even in the midfield, that's where they won their battle. For the chances that they create, they finally took them. And this is something that relieved Atazwane because they created a lot of chances. And this time around, they didn't concede as well. They did not concede. But we have to talk about the bright spark of that game, Christian Basumbuli, the new signing. I mean, what an impression from this guy. I spoke about it in my video. I said when you go on your first date and the person comes dressed well. I mean, what an impression. He scares defenders. Even the way that he created that second goal for Kaizer Chiefs, he beat Maklawa, guys. I mean, he took Maklawa to the cleaners here. He's got pace, he's big, he's quick, and also he's confident. He's very confident. He gets the ball and he's able to dribble too. And you look at the season that Chiefs have at this current moment. What is there really left to play for, Shakes Rampedi? It's probably top 4, realistically. I probably would say it's the top 4. 4, 3, 2, because 1 is gone. So 2 is there, but they have to put on a run at this moment. Does he start Caleb anymore? I mean, that's the question, because I watch Caleb and I think the man's lost confidence. And also, he's supposed to be a target man. He's supposed to link up play. He's not doing what Olivier Giroud does. But this guy has come in, has got different attributes. It's not as tall as Caleb, but he's got other attributes that can hurt defenders too. And I think the front 3 that Atazwane is going to go with is Christian, Keegan Dolly, and Ashley Dupree. And you can just imagine that pace that Kaizer Chiefs will have. Even though they scored goals, for me, the most important thing that happened over this weekend for Kaizer Chiefs was the fact that they kept a clean sheet. Because they conceded a lot of goals, but they kept a clean sheet. And one of the reasons why they kept a clean sheet was I think Atazwane was being ruthless this past weekend. When you look at this list, they've played 18 games and only kept 6 clean sheets. They should be keeping more if they want to succeed. He made changes. He took Khune out, a fan favorite. Kwinika out, a fan favorite. And Samkelo Zwane, a fan favorite too. And he changed it up. Peterson came in, Ngezana came in, and as well as Satewi came in. And you could just see Royal Am could not get anywhere near their goals. And it helped a lot. And for me, I want to see that from Atazwane. I want to see that kind of ruthlessness. If someone is making mistakes continuously, they need to get dropped. Every player within Kaizer Chiefs needs to feel like it's a privilege to play, to be in that starting 11. So when you make those changes, this is what can happen, because Ngezana felt it too. Jabulani Ngobo felt it too. Peterson felt it too, but now Peterson is back. He had to wait his time. It's TS Galaxy next, and they thrash Golden Arrows. So it'll be interesting how they go about in this game. Kaizer Chiefs need to be consistent, that's for sure. And Africa's on the cards. So with consistency, Africa could be possible. One of the best games I've seen this season, the Cape Derby. I mean, that game never disappoints. Stellenbosch coming from 2 goals down to beat Cape Town City 3-2. I mean, they never lost belief. And also, they had more energy than Cape Town City, no doubt. And the changes that Steve Barker made were very helpful. And he's taking a risk this season. Steve Barker, he's taking a risk. I looked at their squad, Look at that. Look at those numbers at this moment. 17 players are 23 years old or younger of the squad. I mean, that's a lot of youngsters that he's put in there. And you could even see that it's impacted their form. They're having to fight relegation. They're having to survive. They're having to make mid-table. Throughout the season, it sort of fluctuates. But this team needs to stay. And they need to stay together and grow together, because eventually in a couple of years' time, there will be a better team. But with that being said, Cape Town City did help them out. Cape Town City were naive, man. I couldn't believe how naive they were. They went 2-0 up, and I thought, okay, cool. But they remained open. They didn't narrow it up, not at all. And they're playing a high line with the pace that Stellenbosch has. I'm like, you guys are asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble, because they got in behind that defense many times. And the poor defending too. I mean, they were defending poorly. And even Eric Tinkler mentioned it too. And there are 2 players that I just want to ask a question, and maybe you guys can tell me what has happened, because what happened to Thabo Nadada, guys? Like, what happened to Mdantsane? What happened to these players? Because look at the impact they've had this season. Thabo Nodada, 16 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. You know, Mdantsane, 21 games, 0 goals, 1 assist. I mean, we must remind people, Mdantsane was the top goal scorer for this club for the last 2 seasons, before this one. And now he's not scoring goals? I feel like there's also senior players within the squad that are not taking responsibility. I want to give them more time. I want to give them more games and see if they can be able to get better performances. Because if not, they're going to be called out for sure. But now they're fighting for top 8. But if you guys want to get top 8 and compete in another trophy next season, you guys need to seriously pull your socks up. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. It's Carabao Cup this week. I mean, we had FA Cup over the weekend, but I've gone with Carabao Cup games because I nearly got lucky on my last bet slip. I bet on Carabao Cup games, I missed it by 2 goals. But this time around, I think I've got it. Newcastle going up against Southampton, second leg. I've gone with Newcastle straight win. And then Manchester United going up against Nottingham Forest. I've gone with Manchester United straight win as well. The odds, 2.04. I mean, let's double our money. And those are my selections for this week. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. We've come to the end of the show. It's transfer deadline day tonight. What is your transfer wish? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.